Do you want to see something strange? Well then check out this video.
Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth, or the word will never leave you. It is truth. I far enough future. To travel in time is to travel in space.
Supposedly, this is real footage of a government agent interviewing an alien. Now, this video was supposedly, again, the primary word, released to the public by the government itself. And it's from a project called Project Blue Book. Now, for those of you who don't know what Project Blue Book is, go look it up. It was a sector of the government set up way back when to investigate the UFO phenomena. And this is one of the videos from that project. I know, it's weird, right? And I think the biggest question of all is, do you think it's real or do you think it's fake? So what I'm going to do in this video is use Blender, a free open source 3D software used for visual effects, and I'm going to see if I can recreate something similar that's believable. I'm going to leave a link in the description below to the full video of that alien interview. Please go have a look and let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Stick around to the end of the video to see the final result.
Alright, so we're going to jump over here into one of my favorite websites to use for free 3D models called cgtrader.com. Just jump over there and I found this really awesome looking alien model that I'm going to download as an OBJ file, and this is the alien that we will be using. Now jumping over into Blender, we're going to delete that cube. I'm going to import my alien model, so import OBJ file, go and select your downloaded file. Once it's imported, you want to go decimate, add a decimate modifier, unsubdivide by 4 times. I just want to remove some of that geometry just to free up some PC resources. Then I'm going to slap a quick, very rough armature and rig this character up, just so that I can set it up in my scene exactly how I want it. And at a later stage, I'm going to be using Mixamo, which is a really fantastic free Adobe website that you can use to automatically rig your characters and add some animations to them. Now I'm going to use BlenderKit, a free add-on that you can install. Just go to blenderkit.com, download and install. I'm going to use this to add some very basic quick lighting with the HDRI that I loaded in, and then I'm going to go down to my materials, organic materials, and see if I can find a really nice reptilian looking, alien looking texture. I also want to change the eyes to a reflective shiny black to make it really nice and creepy. Now I think that looks good for now. I'll probably change this at a later stage, but it's good for now. Now we can start setting up our scene. I'm going to enter my camera view here and just set a nice camera position. I'm going to use a basic cube, squash it down, and that'll be the walls of my building, building out the interrogation room. Once again, you can see that I am using BlenderKit. I will be using it a lot throughout this video to find some really cool objects or materials and objects for my scene. So I found this cool table, just placed that in there. And then as you can see, I'm just setting up the camera here until I'm happy with that view. Now moving on, I am just going to reposition my character into a nice seating position. So I'm just moving the arms and the head and everything around using the basic rig that I created earlier on. This I will replace later using the Mixamo website as I mentioned before. Now using BlenderKit, again, go to materials and find a nice shiny metal material for the tabletop surface. I want something with a bit of texture to it, so not super shiny but also not too rough. I'm striving for realism here, so eventually settled upon this texture. I think it looks fine. And then I found this really cool lamp here because, you know, it's an interrogation scene, so I want to create that vibe by placing a lamp on the table and having a really harsh spotlight pointing right down onto my character, my alien character, as you can see. So I'm just playing around with the spot sizes, the light radius and the light intensity till I have a really harsh interrogation light. Now I want to fill out the tabletop surface with some props. So I found this mug. I'm just going to scale it up and place it there because you know you need some coffee when you're doing interrogation. Also, you are going to need a tape recorder. So I found this vintage tape recorder. Going to scale that up and just place that in the center of the table. Maybe put it at an angle. At this point, I thought it'd be nice to fill out the background a little bit more. So I found this light just to bring in some light in the background there. Like I said again, guys, BlenderKit is fantastic to use just to fill out your scene, so really consider downloading that. I also placed in this really big metal security door with a bunch of warning stickers on there. Thought that looked fantastic, so I put that in the background. And I don't want the background to be, you know, too highlighted. It's just got to be subtle there, nice, just to fill out the scene a little bit more, so you don't have too much darkness and black in the background. You want to fill out your scene a little bit better. So like I said, using that light and the door, you know, it's enough just to give you the vibe that you are in some sort of underground bunker interrogation scene. So now moving over to Mixamo. This website I use to rig a lot of my characters because you can literally import your model and then use this function to select the chin, the wrists, the elbows, the knees and the groin. And when you click on next, it's going to analyze and automatically rig your character up. Now it works better on human models, but it worked quite well on this alien model, even though the legs are a little deformed. So now that we've got our model loaded in here, we can select from a bunch of free already preloaded animations. I found this one of Old Man. I think it matched the creepiness vibe, and then you can set your frames and you can download that model in whichever format you want. I downloaded this as a FBX file, and then you want to bring that back into Blender, and I'm going to scale it up, place it into the position where I've already set up my previous model, and delete my old model because that was basically just a placeholder. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it's nice to have something there as a reference point. If you want to do this step earlier on, that's fine as well. So I place my model here. I'm going to play that animation. It looks nice and creepy. Once again, just add the texture. Didn't like the dark texture because it was getting lost, so I found the skin texture and just scaled that up so you can see the details, and it just looks nasty. So we've got a nice pale looking alien. Once again, just changing the eyes to a dark black and make it nice and shiny to reflect the scene and, you know, the lights. So I thought that looked pretty good with the animation in, and this was coming together quite nicely. I think one more step that we needed to do is just rig our host here, the person that's going to be interviewing this alien. So I slapped a quick rig on him, basically just the spine, a neck and a head, and I parented that to the mesh, and using the automatic keyframes just scrub through the timeline and move the bones around here and there just slightly. And when you play that, it looks like you've got a bit of movement in your character, and that it's moving his, you know, he's moving his head and his shoulders, and he's just swaying and talking. Now you don't need a lot of fancy animations, just make, because this guy's going to be in the foreground, he's going to be a bit blurred out, you just want a bit of movement to him. And yeah, I think that was perfect, and this is the final result.
Okay, we're recording. Stay on an origin. Okay, yesterday you told us you traveled, and I quote, thousands of light years to get here.
Well, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.